Hey everybody, JC here with another T&I toy review. And today's review is in association with JediInsider.com, your #1 news source for everything Star Wars. And for today's review, we're going to be taking a look at 3 of Hasbro's new Star Wars The Force Awakens 3.75-inch basic figures with Tasu Leech, Nien Numb, and Admiral Ackbar. So all 3 of these figures come packaged in the same standardized packaging we've been seeing with all the Force Awakens stuff. You've got the Kylo Ren head with the ignited lightsaber up in the corner. You've got the Force Awakens logo, and then you've got some artwork for each of the characters. And then the figures are clearly displayed on the card back. And then on the back of the packaging, we have brief bios for each of the figures. So Tasu Leech, Nien Numb, and Admiral Ackbar. And then it shows you how the Build-A-Weapon feature for each of the figures work and the other figures that come in the waves for each of the figures. So both Tasu Leech and Admiral Ackbar come in the same wave, so they share the same Build-A-Weapon parts. And then Nien Numb comes in a different wave and has a different Build-A-Weapon. Okay, so let's get these open and take a look at what's inside. Okay, so here's a look at the figures outside the packaging. Now first of all, each of the figures comes with a little instruction sheet that shows you how to do the Build-A-Weapon feature. Okay, so we'll start off taking a look at Tasu Leech. Leech comes with 2 different accessories. So he comes with the Build-A-Weapon accessory, which looks like a rifle on its own and actually has some articulation in the middle, so you can kind of bend it there in the middle. And it's got a handle on the bottom and a handle on the top. It's done with a dark gray with some red and this metallic silver with a blue tint to it. And you also have some just regular metallic silver here up at the front. And again, this looks kind of like a rifle when you don't have the other 2 pieces for the collect and connect weapon feature. He also comes with what looks like a futuristic shotgun, and this is all just beige. There's no paint applications on this, and it's a very rubber, soft, flexible material, so it does kind of bend easily. And he can hold this in his left hand or his right hand. He holds it actually better in his left hand. The right hand's a little more open, so it can fit. It fits in there, but sometimes it falls out. The figure itself, I think they've done a pretty nice job here. I like the face sculpt. I think they've done a nice job with that. Good paint applications. The eyes are straight. You've got the little mustache. Good skin tone. Looks pretty true to what I recall seeing in the movie for the character. He's got the long hair, which is done with a harder plastic, so it does limit some of the head movement, but I like the sculpting in the hair, and it's done with just a black type color. Then for the rest of the outfit, you've got this outer piece that goes over his chest, and on the upper body it's sculpted on there, and it's got some line work and everything sculpted, and they've even put some gold glitter on there for some added detail. And then he's got this belt with a gun holster. The gun is sculpted in there, so it's not removable and really not very detailed. It almost looks like it's a bone or something in there as opposed to a gun. And then the lower part of the shirt is done with that kind of rubber type material, so you've got some flexibility there. And some nice sculpting on the pants for creases and stuff, and then he's got the ankle guards. Again, it's got some of that gold glitter there on the lower parts of his legs. On the back, again, nice sculpting detail on the shirt with the straps, and you've got some line work in the shirt for extra detail. So Nien Numb also comes with 2 different accessories. So he comes with this backpack piece, which is part of his Build-A-Weapon feature. And basically, you've got the 2 upper pieces that'll go over his shoulder, and then he's got these 2 pieces that actually kind of move, have articulation, and then this bottom piece that moves as well. And this is done mostly with a dark gray plastic, and then you've got some metallic silver on the back and the sides, and then some silver here on this circle piece on the back. He also comes with a little pistol, which is done with just a gray plastic, so again, no paint detail and not a lot of detailing as far as the sculpting goes. And we've seen this with other Resistance figures in this line. The figure itself, I think, is, again, pretty nicely done as far as the sculpting goes. Basic paint applications. He's got the red jumpsuit, and then he's got this outer coat that's sculpted on there with a dark gray. You do have a little bit of coloring, some yellow here on the tabs for buttons and down here. So I like that extra detailing. He's got the pockets sculpted on there, and I like the wrinkles on the red jumpsuit. And then he's got this little thing sticking on his arm like you always see with pilots. And he's got some brown gloves and then gray boots. And the head sculpt, I think, is pretty good. He's got that thing that covers his head like we always see with him that looks like leather, and it's got some sculpting lines in there, so I think that looks pretty good. And then the overall sculpting detail on the face itself, I think, is pretty good as well. And then finally, Admiral Akbar. Again, he comes with 2 accessories, another backpack type piece for his build-a-weapon feature, and this one just slips over his head, and again, done with a dark gray with that kind of blue tinted metallic silver, and then some regular metallic silver on the top. And this looks more like a jetpack than anything. And then he comes with a second gun, which is a rifle, which is done with a dark gray. This is, out of the 3 figures, this one is probably has the most detailed weapon as far as the sculpting goes and everything. Akbar can only hold his weapon in his right hand. His left hand is sculpted open, so you can't put any weapons in that one. So Akbar, I think, is probably the nicest of the 3 figures. It's got the nicest paint applications. You've got that brown for a skin color, but then you've got some wash for a darker color to give it added texture. I like the eyes. You've got the black pupil with the yellow, so I think that looks good. And then I just like the overall sculpting. Now, cool thing about the head is he actually has a working mouth, so if you push the head back, then his mouth opens, and you can see his tongue inside, so I think that's pretty nice sculpting detail and everything for a figure of this type. And he's got a vest, which is done in a brown color. He's got this little rank insignia, and then he's got a more yellow cream shirt underneath that. His the skin on his arms is a little lighter color than on his head, but I still think it looks pretty good. And he's got the really long fingers, and again, you have some wash work in there. And he's got the dark brown pants, and they've given, again, some wash work on the pants to give it that kind of, I don't know, almost leatherish look to it. And then he's got some brown boots. So out of the 3, Admiral Akbar is the tallest, and he stands just about 4 inches exactly. Then Nien Numb is about 3 and 3/4 inches tall. And then Tasu Leech, which seems a bit on the short side to me, is about 3.5 inches tall. And here's a comparison with the Return of the Jedi Admiral Akbar, as well as some of his other kinsmen. And for Nien Numb, here's a comparison with some other pilot figures. And finally, for Tasu Leech, here's a comparison with the Force Awakens Han Solo. Like all the figures in this line, these only have 5 points of articulation. You can turn the heads to the left and the right, you can rotate the arms, and you can do the legs forward and back. Now with Akbar actually you can't turn the head, but again, he has that working mouth, so you can do the upper head back and forth a bit. Okay, so that's my review. So out of the 3 figures, Admiral Akbar is definitely my favorite. I think it's got the nicest paint applications, and I like the working mouth feature. Nien Numb's nice, though I would have kind of preferred his X-Wing pilot outfit as opposed to this red jumpsuit. And then Tasu Leech is decent looking as well, but just strikes me as being on the small side. Maybe he was that short in the movie and I just don't recall, but this figure is definitely short. So all 3 of these figures are hitting shelves now. We'll have a full gallery of images up at JediInsider.com. There'll be a link in the description below. And as always, leave a comment. Let us know what you think. If you're so inclined, please like the video. And if you haven't already, please follow me on my Facebook and or Twitter pages. I'll have links to those in the video description as well. And until next time, I'll catch you later.